What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Pearson coming to you guys with another update for physical science. Today we're looking at Unit 1, Investigation 1, Activity 4. Unit 1, Investigation 1, Act 1.4. Our big question for this activity is, how do I know if something is positively or negatively charged? All right, so we've started this investigation and we're learning what charges is and how they interact with each other. Okay, I'm going to jump over to the interactions page here. Again, quick review. We talk about things that stick together and some things that don't. What are some patterns that go on there? We were looking at how the charges repel and attract. Then we took a look at how how charged objects work with uncharged objects. Okay, so how one charged object interacts with another object that has no charge, which we call neutral. So now we want to talk about how we can determine what's what. Right? We know that if we have a negative and a negative, or if we have, you'll hear me say alike charges, they will repel, and then opposite charges attract. But how do we know what's what, right? We've taken a look at the tape and different rods and things like that, and we really have the same combination of different combination of the same materials. There's some things we know and some things we don't. We're starting to figure out how we might change that. Taking a look here, again, sort of recaps like I was just mentioning, gets into the first part of the experiment, looking for, again, very similar list of materials that we've seen so far. And again, I'm not going to go through each one. I have a folder here. There's 4 different videos, okay? At first, we're taking a look at how the balloon is going to interact with a different variety of rods. This one's a little bit longer. Based on the results that we saw here, we took the best combinations. So really, the fur was the best application of friction. And we looked at that combination with acrylic, rubber, and Teflon, and how that interacted with each of the pieces of tape, right? So we start with this idea that the balloon, when we rub the balloon with fur, it becomes negatively charged. So if we know that that has a negative charge, we can see how the other rods become charged with the different patches, fur, silk, whatever. So from there is a portion here, and you'll notice, like the warm-up, I asked you to tell me how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich or make a pizza or something like that. There is a section in here where you're going to start to develop a procedure. Again, I've provided you with the videos, so you're sort of pigeonholed in how you might make that procedure. But we're working to a point where we can start to develop an experiment on our own, or start to write the steps to conducting an experiment. Okay, so again, it says, you look through that first video. Again, which type of rod, which type of material are we using? Again, we've got the different combinations you can put there. You'll notice myself and my other colleagues sort of mention whether it attracts or repels. Sometimes we don't get the best data. We tried to do it a few times and present you with the best stuff we saw. Excuse me. This part we sort of left out of the video, right? So this part you're going to mention, you might say, you have the rubber and then the fur. How did it, if this is attract, whoops. Okay, if it attracted the negative balloon, it should be positive. maybe it repelled, which would make this negative. Okay, so these first three columns are given to you in the videos. Again, I forget exactly off the top of my head. The first three columns are given to you in the videos. This last column, you're making a sort of prediction, an assumption, whatever you want to call it, on the charge of that particular rod in that particular situation. From there, you get into trying to figure out what the tape is. That's where these three videos come in. All right. This is another screencast I made last semester. Some extra tips and tricks. Check for understanding. That's what we're working on between today and tomorrow. As always, shoot me any questions you have on Schoology or drop them on Teams. If nothing else, I'll talk to you guys later.